Hi everyone, it's your host Dusty. Welcome if you're new and welcome back to the Simple Souls podcast. It's great to have you all here. I hope your past few days have been good, and if not, then I hope this week's episode brings you some type of enlightenment. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that today's podcast episode is about my first year at UCSD. I am honestly so happy and relieved that it's finally my summer break because it's been quite a long and stressful journey for me. And don't get me wrong, of course I had great moments there, met great people, and have created so many memories for myself throughout my time there so far. But today I am going to focus on the big wall that I hit after my first fall quarter. So originally in high school, just for some little context here, I always wanted and planned to go far for college, and I even applied out of state, which I got rejected from, but I did decide to go with UCSD. From the options that I had available. And in case you haven't seen the college acceptance video that I posted a while back, you can go ahead and watch that for some more background on why I chose UCSD, and if you're curious about any other colleges that I applied to. Now, if you're an incoming first year to any college, don't be alarmed from what I'm going to share because it really is different for everyone. However, I hit a big wall of realization that college really is double, triple, or quadruple times the work that I had to put in during high school. I didn't have a set routine going in, and honestly I did not put in the time that I knew I should have when studying or doing assignment. So it resulted in me failing 2 classes and barely passing 2 others during my first fall quarter, which just destroyed my confidence educationally because I was used to getting straight A's during high school and even before in like elementary and on. Moving on to my winter and spring quarter, I thankfully passed all my classes, but I'm still not okay with how close I was to failing and how it made me feel or how it changed my mentality during those times. Dealing with stress on top of being homesick from time to time, and for me being emotional and usually taking things personally, it absolutely sucks. It honestly shook my character a little bit because no one likes failure. No one likes to be in the position that they look down on. So of course it drained me for some time. And also, yes, my parents are supportive of me and still are, but also came with feeling a different type of way when I told them how my courses were going. And I do get how people can kind of think of this the other way, but as someone who's had a pretty solid academic history, of course they're going to be taken back and disappointed, which I was myself. And I do value my parents' opinions because they've been a part of how far I've come and have helped me through the opportunities that I've earned along the way as well. So yes, their faces stuck with me when I told them and had an impact. I do expect myself to continue on into getting my master's degree, so when I say they had an impact, I think it was more the fact that they were right in the way that as of now, I really do have to improve because obviously graduate school has higher expectations from me and really does require me to be on my best, you know? Another huge factor during my first year was also dealing with my health, especially because my health condition is caused by stress and overstimulating myself. I always have it in the back of my head whenever I'm reaching that peak again because it is scary for me. As for a little update, my tumor has been going back and forth with growing and shrinking, and recently it did grow again, very little at least. But for the way that I see it, all it takes is a good amount of stress for things to relapse. So it has been very challenging physically and mentally in that form. I thankfully do have the right medication and know what to do to get better, as it's always been very serious for me from the start, which isn't a bad thing. Of course, you need to be serious about your own health. But you know, as you're told all these risks and everything that has to do with it, it obviously does stick with you. A big topic I also wanted to touch on was the differences I've seen and experienced coming from South Central LA to San Diego. Something usual for me here, like hearing ambulances, helicopters, vendors at every other park or street, is actually very unusual for me to see over there. And it's not even about the fact that the streets are cleaner or people can walk around without having to worry as much as they do here, but the fact that those small details also carry an impact on you. And that's where a lot of the homesickness comes in, at least for me, because it almost feels like an imposter being there. And adds a little bit of guilt because I didn't choose to just stay home. And adds some guilt to the fact that I didn't stay closer to home, as if I'm being unloyal to it. Taking a switch to some more positive outlooks, my first year was definitely memorable for my personal growth. I've now seen myself in numerous states that I'm okay with and I'm going forward with as I continue to get used to more and more workloads. But I'm okay with them because college is supposed to be challenging educationally and personally, since we're all coming from different backgrounds and levels. However, after it all, I do know that I have to continue strengthening my mentality, because although it is a lot to deal with, life is still continuing to throw obstacles at you no matter what you're doing or no matter what plan you're following. So for the incoming freshman, or for anyone who's continuing on with their education, really, there are 4 pieces of advice I'd like to share with you. Number 1, it's very important to carry on your values and your principles, but more to remember them in a different setting, because there's going to be so much newness around you that can distract you. Number 2, time is money. Yes, you're supposed to romanticize your life and have fun, especially because it is our prime years, but also don't forget why you're there. Which I get how it may sound, but I mean it in the way that you understand your decisions will always have some type of intention in them. Number 3, everyone is completely different. Yes, you may take the same course as someone else or have the same characteristics in some way, but it's still up to your study habits and your routine from day to day and how you handle those situations that will carry you in one way or the other. And 4, understand the difference between changing and adapting. Wrapping this up, there's still so much more to discover and wonder about and make decisions for, but it is important to take it all in with a grain of salt, because it can all change in the blink of an eye. Which of course ties to being appreciative and showing gratitude for what you have every day. I hope you're all staying hydrated, taking care of yourselves, and are having a good summer. Don't forget to like, comment, share with anyone who might need to hear this, and subscribe for more. I am working on the Q&A for my personal channel. I know I've been talking about it for a while now, but there's just been so many more things that are coming up and things that I think are important to add into it. So stay tuned for that one, and also subscribe to that channel so that you don't miss anything. Thank you for giving me some time out of your day for today's podcast, and I'll talk to you guys again very soon.